Before the world starts spinning fast, I pause and take my stand. Coffee in hand, I lace up truth with heaven's battle plan. No fear, no doubt, I suit up strong, his armor fits just right. I'm walking tall, I'm prayed up now, I'm ready for the fight. Wrap me in truth, no lies allowed, I'll walk this road with my head unbowed. No fake disguise, no twisted word, just gospel truth, pure and undisturbed. Armor of God, my morning song, it is mine, I move along. Shield of faith and sword in hand, in his armor I firmly stand. Truth on my ways, peace on my feet, victory is mine, I won't retreat. Guard my heart, Lord, keep it clean, your righteousness my daily sheen. No shame, no guilt, no hidden stain, I wear your grace like a holy chain. Armor of God, my morning song, it is mine, I move along. Shield of faith and sword in hand, in his armor I firmly stand. Truth on the ways, peace on my feet, victory is mine, I won't retreat. Blue slates tied with peace I bring, good news echoes when I sing. I step with calm through storm and flame, each stride I take I lift your name. Armor of God, my morning song, it is mine, I move along. Shield of faith and sword in hand, in his armor I firmly stand. Truth on my ways, peace on my feet, victory's mine, I won't retreat. Mind renewed, no fear inside, salvation's crown, my holy God. Thoughts aligned with heaven's view, I see the world through what is true. Armor of God, my morning song, it is mine, I move along. Shield of faith and sword in hand, in his armor I firmly stand. Truth on my ways, peace on my feet, victory's mine, I won't retreat. Word in hand, I speak with fire, sharper than steel, it lifts me high. No weapon formed can take me down. I fight with faith, I wear the crown. Armor of God, my morning song, it is mine, I move along. Shield of faith and sword in hand, in his armor I firmly stand. Truth on my ways, peace on my feet, victory's mine, I won't retreat. So here I stand, the day begun, armored up till setting sun. With every breath I walk his way, in truth and love I face the day.
Maybe I'm not muted now. So anyway, just made some changes with the software, did some updates, reinstalled some new multi-streaming software, and I had to tweak it. So let me know, guys, if you can hear me okay. Give me a thumbs up. I did double check just before I went live to make sure everything was up. So down, I guess we can get all the other stuff out of the way first. Down below the video in the description, I've got some links down there for 3 places that I have for sponsors. PatriotSupply.com. You all know what that is. If you're looking for some good food and stuff that has a 25-year shelf life, plus anything to do with first aid, camping, hiking, water purification, you can find it all there. And they've got some big sales going on right now, so go check them out. EMP Shield. One moment. Yeah, EMP Shield. With everything that's going on right now, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to go look at that. If you want to take and protect your vehicle, your RV, your home, all your things from any kind of an EMP, even if it's a bad storm with electrical, that'll help with any power surges there too. And it's funny, right? As soon as I go live, the messages start coming in from Ukraine. We'll get to that in a little bit. But then the other one, my newest and biggest and the best, is LifeWave. If you've all heard of wearable med beds before, this is the place to check out. I've been using this now for 2 months, and I feel like a whole new person. All those body aches and back pain problems and knee and shoulder problems that I suffered with for many years, gone. Every once in a while, if I work like a little bit of extra hours at work and stuff, I can feel a little bit, but it gets me through the day very comfortably. And there's some new stuff coming out here too, the X2O water. I will be posting a video on that there pretty soon too. It's pretty awesome stuff. So anyway, we'll get into what we're going to talk about today. If you've all been paying attention to the news, we're getting some new stuff coming in from the Iran area. But the one thing that I looked at this morning that I wanted to talk about first, and the reason that I titled the live stream the way that I did, this was a post that came out from Brian Cates. He's a political columnist, not a communist, a columnist. Gotta untie my tongue this morning. So he says here, they control 4 things around the world. Number 1, the energy supply, its extraction and its movement by water. Number 2, mass migration, human trafficking. Number 3, worldwide drug trade. Number 4, international central banking. Who's he talking about? He's talking about what we would either call the cabal, the Illuminati, the hidden hand, and basically what we're talking about right now is that he's taken away all 4 of these, okay, from them for the last year, and it's accelerating right now. So, and he's talking in particular to somebody out there. I'm not going to mention the person because I don't want to give him any airtime, but he says, and you're over there blackpilling about the Jews, okay? Their proxy state in Israel goes last for a reason. Okay, any of you that followed Q, we know for a fact that it was put in there that Israel hasn't been mentioned and won't be mentioned for a reason, and because they're being saved for last. Now, when we talk about Israel, okay, and I've been telling people about this for a very long time, okay, and at risk of getting the YouTube channel taken down, I don't care, but I still have Rumble, I still have X. Okay, what we're talking about is Khazarians. They're the fake Jews. Okay, the Khazarians were the people back in the day that would take and basically it was the highway robbery. They'd wait for people to come by on the horse and pony trail, and they were like pirates. They would take them over, kill them all, take all their things, and they would take their identification and become them. Okay, so who in reality, and I talked about this before, but I'm actually going to say it right out loud today, who are the Khazarians? So if we think about, okay, when and why was Israel started? Who did it? Okay, so we know that the Rothschilds were involved in this, okay, to get Israel started. And we know that they went to numerous other places around the world to ask for land for Israel. And they actually asked for a little section here in the United States, in our lovely city or state of Texas. They asked for a chunk of land that they could call Israel. They were turned down. They were turned down from everyone. And then they basically went in and made a deal with the Palestinians, but then they ended up getting taken over. We see what's happened with Palestine. Okay, so the Israel that we know today, the state of Israel that we know today, was created by the Rothschilds and at some force, and even with some underhanded BS, some lies and things. And who are they? They're the City of London, State Street. It's otherwise known as the City of London conglomerate. So President Trump has been taking them down. It started in his first, when he was president his first time around. But he didn't get a lot done because he had to fight all the lawfare that was going on. Everything that they tried to do to take him down and his family, and they failed. He gets back in here for his next term, and we all know that when Biden was in, the commander-in-chief was still Trump. The 45-47, it has meaning, okay? That means 45 through 47. Okay, and if you want to learn more about that, go visit Derek Johnson over on X. Derek Johnson. Rattletrap 1776. Okay, so Brian went on to say, when the history books are written about how Trump utterly and artfully gutted the City of London conglomerate in less than 2 years, you goobers are going to be screeching, or the you goobers that are screeching that he was owned by the Jews won't even be a footnote. So he's right, because all these people that have been screaming this are basically going to go away, and they're just going to wither into the mist. Okay, so I'm going to bring out names like Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, and Alex Jones. Those are the top 4. Okay, we've also got the twin brothers there. There's quite a bunch of them, but I'm not going to talk about them today. Okay, so another person said, hey, it was kind of like all part of a genius plan, huh? And Trump posted, massive numbers of completely empty oil tankers, some of the largest anywhere in the world, are heading right now to the United States to load up with the best and sweetest oil and gas anywhere in the world. We have more oil than the next 2 largest oil economies combined, and higher quality. We are waiting for you. Quick turnaround. And that was a post by President Trump. Okay, I'm going to share this image, but I gotta switch masterfully over here and show you what we got going on here. So this here, let me just kill my camera for a moment. Yeah, it won't kill all the way. But anyway, all these ships that you see coming down around the Horn of Africa, coming across the Atlantic Ocean, up alongside Brazil and then Venezuela, and making their way into the Gulf of America. And this picture is not showing, there are also ships that are coming over on the West Coast as well. So it's happening, okay? And this is why I say this is going to be biblical. All right, I just got to take a peek here. I'm kind of curious as to if things are actually going, if they're working here. I think they are. Going, if they're working here. Yeah, I gotta minimize that. I have very little lag going over on X, everybody. That's pretty cool. Alright, so let me get back here with you over here on my bookmarks. Close this out. Alright, so we know that President Trump has now, before I jump into that, okay, they went to Pakistan, Islamabad, to have a peace talk, okay? And Iran, just like our little midget in Ukraine, is going there with their chest puffed out and acting like they're all that, which we know they're not. They ended up canceling the peace talks because nothing was going to happen. Okay, they knew that ahead of time. So what Trump did after that basically became a failed attempt, President Trump called for a blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, and so right from his mouth, he says, so there you have it. The meeting went well. Most points were agreed to, but the only point that really mattered was nuclear. Okay? And that was not effective. Okay? So, effective immediately, the United States Navy, the finest in the world, will begin the process of blockading any and all ships trying to enter or leave the Strait of Hormuz. At some point, we will all reach, and what do they call, all being allowed to go in, all being allowed to go out basis, but Iran has not allowed that to happen by merely saying, quote, there may be a mine out there somewhere that nobody knows about but them, okay? So I agree with what President Trump said. This is world extortion. And it's not just one mine. We're finding out that there's a lot of mines that were pretty much, I don't know if they're actually tethered and anchored to the ground or if they're floating freely. Excuse me. But they're out there. So he goes on to say the leaders of countries, especially the United States of America, will never be extorted. I have also instructed our Navy to seek and interdict every vessel in international waters that has paid a toll to Iran. No one who pays an illegal toll will have safe passage on the high seas. So apparently there were 2 ships that did get through. I don't know about the second one, or if they were maybe both French ships, but I know France made an appeal to Iran or made a deal on the side, and they were allowed to go through freely and not be shot at. Okay? But I just found out about this less than an hour ago, that those 2 ships initially were being sought out by our Navy and they were going to be interdicted, but it came back out that they're letting them go. They're not going to stop them. So Trump goes on to say, we will also begin destroying the mines the Iranians laid in the straits. Any Iranian who fires at us or at peaceful vessels will be blown to hell. Iran knows better than anyone how to end this situation, which has already devastated their country. Their Navy is gone, their Air Force is gone, their anti-aircraft and radar are useless. Khomeini and most of their leaders are dead, all because of the nuclear ambition. The blockade will begin shortly. Other countries will be involved with this blockade. I'm finding out that the UK might be part of that, and I made a post on X a little bit ago, basically what I said. Think of it like an Easter egg hunt, and they're going to go there and we're going to see which country actually finds most of the eggs. Okay? If you can read between the lines, you understand what I mean by that. Okay? So, Iran will not be allowed to profit off this illegal act of extortion. They want money, and more importantly, they want nuclear. Additionally, loaded, or locked. Additionally, and at the appropriate moment, we are fully locked and loaded, and our military will finish up the little that is left of Iran. So President Trump's not messing around. They gave Iran that couple of days to go in to have peace talks, and Iran was definitely using this time to probably reassemble and try to get something together. And I can guarantee you that our Navy was doing the exact same thing. And now it's not just our Navy that's involved, it's the Air Force, the Army, the Marine Corps, all of our special forces. I have a feeling that we are going to have some boots on the ground here pretty soon. But not until we do some more bombing. And I believe Carg Island is going to be first. And then any other oil refineries. I think they might hold off on hitting any nuclear power plants. I think they have one that I know of. But we are going to go after bridges. And if Iran wants to take and put innocent people out there, Iran is going to be the ones that are going to look bad. The United States has basically said, we're going to do this, and if you're going to take and be dumbasses and put innocent people out there as human shields, then you better think again, okay? This is war, people, and if they want to play the stupid game, they're going to get stupid prizes. But we have weapons that will take care of their bridges and their electric facilities and any other place that are still up to have the least amount of damage and probably not too much of, what do they call it, casualties of war of innocent people. Okay? So, moving on here, I just wanted to take a peek at chat and see if anybody's commenting or if we got anything going on. I don't see any comments. So, which makes sense because most people don't catch the live. They catch it after. All right. Let's see. So, we've got this here coming from Iran International. This was from 2 hours ago. So, following the failure of negotiations between the United States and the Islamic Republic and the departure of the negotiating delegations from Pakistan, Donald Trump, the President of the United States, has ordered the U.S. Navy to begin the naval blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. Okay? So, they're basically saying it. So, it's going to happen. The price of oil for all these other countries is going to go up exponentially. And in my belief, what I think is going on, I think we're actually seeing right now that Iran has nothing left to fight with. All proof because yesterday we sent 2 guided missile cruisers through the Strait of Hormuz. They didn't get fired on. They didn't get stopped. There was no problems. So I think Iran is all hot air right now. And once the minesweepers get in there and they clear the strait, I think then we're going to start seeing these ships that are loaded. After some point in time, we'll be able to go out to their destinations. And any other ships that are out there waiting to load up, if they're not already over getting United States oil, then they'll go back and get oil from the strait. Okay. Had to get that drink of coffee and clear that tickle in my throat. Alright, so I guess there's no other comments on what's going on in the strait, except we're going to have to keep an eye on the blockade. Some other breaking news. This came out yesterday, actually last night. The United States officially withdraws from the World Health Organization. So yesterday, 1 year after President Trump's historic executive order from the Oval Office, after 77 years, the United States is no longer a WHO member. All right, so how much longer are we going to have to wait before we're out of NATO and we're out of the UN? Okay, one other quick thing here on the strait. Apparently, Saudi Arabia has all their pipelines back up again and running. They have not been attacked since that last time they got attacked. So right now their capacity stands at about 1.5 million barrels per day, with a maximum near 1.8 million barrels per day. So it says during the 2026 Hormuz crisis, the UAE pushed the line close to full capacity, with the Fujairah, I think I pronounced that right, Fujairah loadings peaking around 1.9 million barrels per day to keep Murban crude exports flowing outside Iranian-controlled waters. So in parallel, Saudi Arabia ramped up its east-west pipeline as an additional bypass route. The Iranian strikes hit that pumping station, which I mentioned briefly, cutting flows by roughly about 700,000 barrels per day and reducing the Saudi capacity by about 600 barrels per day. Saudi officials now say the east-west pipeline has been fully restored to its 7 million barrel per day capacity. So they're back up and running. All right. So I think that's all I have on that. There was something else interesting that came out that I wanted to mention here quickly. Let me just check chats real quick and see if we have anything. I don't see anything there. And I got nothing there. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the last thing here, and that's back here at home. So we kind of have like a big game changer just coming out, okay? So apparently these woke judges are now going to be publicly tracked for how many violent criminals they release who reoffend. So some of the judges have basically started to panic. There is a website out there called courtwatch.us. It's a free public database for American citizens who deserve safer communities. You can track which judges released defendants who then got rearrested, skipped court, or violated their release conditions. It's all public records and it's all free. They started with Orange County, Florida, and are expanding to all 67 Florida counties and eventually every state in the country. So they have people that are helping to get that database up. This first batch of info started from 2024, okay, and since public records are released in March and April for the previous year, the data is a little bit behind, but they basically wanted to see if this was going to be plausible. So after adding 2024, they'll add 2025 and then figure out how to get the real-time data uploaded. Right now it's in beta, but they would love to know what you think. Numbers don't lie, but criminals do. So again, if you get a chance, go over and check out courtwatch.us. We'll see if we can't help them get going, and if they need some help, maybe you can volunteer to help them out. I am just looking here for any additional news before I get on to the last little bit. Okay, so yesterday, was it yesterday? Artemis 2 came back and landed successfully, but there's some of us out there that think that this whole thing was a big psyop, okay? A big psyop. I don't want to go through and rehash everything that Michael Jaco put out. I would much rather have you all go check out Michael's podcast that he just put out, and I'm just going to grab you all the link for that one video, and then I'm going to throw it up in the chats so you can all check it out. But yeah, he put some good information out there. You wouldn't believe it. The thing that I got out of this the most is that there are so many more people that are awake, if you want to say that, about all the psyops that are being pulled on us. And I believe that even right now, people don't believe that Artemis 2 even went and flew around the moon. So, I don't know. None of the photos. Apparently, there was one quick one that got released. Now, I sent a text message out to all, or a message in the chat, but it's not. I put chats out there, but nothing was coming back for some reason. I don't know why. So, so if you guys are replying to me in chat and I'm not seeing it, I don't know why I'm not seeing it. But let me disconnect and reconnect it again and just make sure that I am connected to the right place. Because it said that I had one person watching, but it didn't show any chat, and it seems like it would be. So anyway, let me throw. I'm gonna throw this link out on X as well to go check out Michael Jaco, and then I'm gonna jump over here on Rumble real quick and throw that link out on Rumble. Oh yeah. Mute that. Well, it looks like everybody's out on Rumble today. I'm not seeing any posting up on YouTube. So let's see. Good morning, 5x5, but I can't post on Rumble. But Green Eyes is there. All right. So have we gotten any confirmation of Russia supplying Iran with the S-2 nuke and the tech? I can guarantee you that Russia is not directly supplying Iran with anything anymore. And anything that was supposedly coming from Russia, I don't believe was actually coming from the government of Russia. I think it might have been coming from a proxy or some of their deep state. Okay? Yeah, so how can they just come out of the capsule after coming out of space? It's like coming up from a deep dive. Well, yeah, that's a good question. I know when you go down a certain depth, you have to wait and let your nitrogen slowly dissipate out of your body, otherwise you get the bends. But isn't space water too? I don't know, just saying. All right, so let's see. Yeah, I see everybody on Rumble, but I'm not seeing any chat coming through on YouTube. So let me just pop that window open, because the chat that I have that's supposed to be coming in.
Let's see.
Yeah. Oh, hold on, I gotta mute that. Yeah, so I'm getting chat. I am getting chat on YouTube, but it's not coming into my streaming software. It's supposed to be. All right, so let's see, where am I am going to close that out, and I'm just going to switch back over here and get to you guys. It says see, now I refreshed it and the chat's coming in. I think I might have to do that every time after I start the live stream. I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, so anyway, back on the Artemis 2. How many of you believe all of this trip around the moon is fake? I know Michael believes that we can go into space, and I believe him when he says this, that he was part of the secret space program. He was one of those soldiers that was involved in that, and he is a remote viewer, but he even thinks that the moon is not actually a planet. He thinks that it's a satellite, that it was put there, and I've heard that many times before, that was put there by other visitors that came here. They pulled it in, and supposedly it was put there to help stabilize things that were going on the earth to kind of stabilize it so it didn't like I don't know, I think maybe the volcanoes and the plate shifting and all that was going on. I don't know, but I've heard that before. But I still think that the moon landings and everything were all fake. I don't think it was real. There's just too many anomalies on some of the stuff that makes me think that that was all part of a psyop, and it was a way to take our money and to keep us our focus someplace else instead of where it should be. And like Michael said, you find one thing that's fake, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like if you fly, what did he say? If you find a fly in the bathwater, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. But see, guys, and this is how I view things, okay? And this is how the deep state can get us. They will give you a story that could be 10, 20, 30, 40% truth, but the rest of it's lies. Or they could give you a story that's 90% truth and 10% is lies. Okay, so we have to use some discernment. We have to whittle out the bad stuff. But I've actually, myself, I've come to the point where if somebody's telling me something that's partially true but not all true, I throw the whole thing out. I look at it as the whole thing was a lie. Because unless you're, to the best of your ability, 100% honest, and you say so, hey, I'm trying to be as truthful as I can with this. It might not all be true, but this is what I know to be true. If you preface with that, then I might take and look into it and see what I can find to be true. But I'm kind of, I'm at the point where as if I see that something, I do some research on something and I find out that this whole big chunk was a lie, then I'm not going to believe it at all. So, let's go back to one thing here with the space thing. Back when Armstrong did the whole, one giant leap for mankind thing, when they did their thing and then they got back on the capsule and they blasted off the moon, who was still standing on the moon with the camera taking the video of them leaving off the moon? They didn't have, to our knowledge, Wi-Fi capability and digital video that they could stream it back into the lunar module and take it back to Earth with them. Okay? There's just too many things that don't sit right with me. Now, if you watch Michael's video in full, it'll explain some of the things, and I was just getting to the part where they were going to talk about why they didn't go back, but I had this set for 11 o'clock, and I wanted to get this going and get it out there. So we're about 40 minutes in, and I'm just looking to see if I got any more comments out there. I think I'm going to jump over, because Rumble chat seems to be the most active chat today. I'm just going to jump over there and pop that out and keep it up on the screen so I can talk with y'all. Okay, let me close this one. I almost closed the whole thing. Okay, so yeah. Sassy says I'm not a flat earther. Well, I don't know if I'm a flat earther or not. Yeah, Super Soldier is what I was trying to get the exact name of earlier, but I'm not a flat earther either, but I do believe that we do have a firmament above us as we do below. I am 100% staunch believer in what the Bible says, and I know there's going to be people out there that go and say, well, no, they changed the words. They didn't know back then when they were rewriting the Bible that we were going to try to send people to the moon, okay? So I think that what we are on is a big giant plane. I think that the earth is much larger than what we are led to believe, and that there are other lands out there, maybe undiscovered or have been discovered, and we've stayed away for a reason. As far as Antarctica is concerned, the ice wall, I think the maps are, the old maps are true, that Antarctica is a big ring around our realm that we know of, and the earth that we know of, and there are certain passageways through there that allow you to get to these other realms. Okay, so you got to ask yourself, why the secrecy of Antarctica as a whole? What's down there? What are they keeping from us? They're keeping a lot from us, and if you can't even go there on your own private boat and make a trip there and go check things out without being intercepted by a military vessel telling you that you can't be there, something's wrong. Okay? What are they hiding from us? There's a few videos that have popped up that say that they were there. I have no proof of it. They show some things with part of the ice wall, but I can't prove it to be true. And until we actually can get out there and do some proof, show some proof, then I'll believe it. Okay, so Sassy says, my father was involved in the Apollo program and also the early shuttle program. He would never deny the moon landing, but he would also change the subject every time it was brought up. I think I think there is some truth to some of the stuff with the space program, but as far as us landing on the moon as the way that they told us the story, I don't think it's true. As Michael Jaco said in his super soldier days, I think they were they didn't land on the surface of the moon, they were inside the moon, because it's a hollow satellite, and it's basically, if you want to think about it, think of Star Wars and what was that moon that they made, the Planet Killer. I forget that. I'm not really into all the movies and stuff. I've seen a lot of them, but I don't remember. But these were like the big planet killers, satellites, and it looked exactly like our moon, just without the moon dust on it. So I think there is truth out there. The Death Star, yeah. There's truth out there that's being kept from us. We're fed a little bit of truth, like maybe that there is some space exploration, but I think to the depth of it, I think that we're not being told the truth. I still believe that there's the firmament, and that I think the firmament covers our area of the world as we know it, as far as I can tell, or at least as far as I can believe. But I'm also being told, I mean, if you can do there's a lot of the flat earther stuff that's out there is very credible with some of the stuff that they show you. Like if you want to take and zoom in on a star or a planet with like the best telescope that you have, basically it shows up as a shimmering spot in the sky, and you can kind of get the same thing by taking a clear glass bowl, putting water in it, and lining it up with the sun where the sun shines through it, and then the reflection that you get on the concrete or the blacktop is that shimmering thing that basically looks just like the stars. So it's kind of the same thing. Let's put it this way. I have I'm not like on one side of the fence or the other. I'm straddling the fence and my feet are on both sides. Where it comes to flat Earth and us being on a spinning globe that's going 12,000 miles per hour, spinning through space, and all the planets are going around each other. Plus, we're circling the sun, but we're spinning through space, and that the not just the galaxy, but the universe is expanding. I just can't. I can't believe all that because there is no proof. And everything that we hear from NASA and all these big space agencies out there, the reason that they're there, they're gatekeepers, in my opinion. Okay, they're keeping the truth from us in Antarctica. They're keeping the truth from us about space, about the planets. There's even an option out there that outside the ice wall are lands known as Mars and Venus and Saturn and Jupiter. So, can't prove it, but they can't prove space. Just because NASA said so, I don't believe it. Okay? This whole Artemis mission was very low key. There wasn't a big hoopla about it. Maybe it's because I don't watch TV, but from what I was watching on X, there was very little talk about the whole Artemis mission and the whole thing to go around the moon and then come back in 9 days and a couple hours. It was all very low key. I just don't believe it. So, I don't know. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts. Put some comments down below. Write what you think in the comments section, not in the live chat, because on Rumble, as soon as the live stream is over, everything that you typed in live chat goes away. I haven't figured out how to save it, but on YouTube it saves it automatically. But I would really like to hear what you think. In a day or so, this will get over to BitChute, and if you're watching on BitChute, I would definitely love to hear what you have to say. Put some comments in the comments for me. Also, if you haven't already, please give me a thumbs up and share it. Whatever. Anything that'll help the algorithms go. Hey, Roy, good morning. I see Roy just popped in. It's good to see him. He's my bud. I don't know. I don't have a whole lot more to talk about, you guys. I am just looking at what's going on in the Rumble chat. Roy says, same here on the Artemis BS. Yep, he agrees. Molly, let's see. Sassy says, except the hoax talk, that was rampant. Yeah. I saw a little bit of it. I just didn't see it to the degree that I thought we were going to see it. I remember when Atlantis and Challenger and all them were going up, that was like, no matter where you are. So back in that day, that was when everybody was on Facebook, and that's all you saw on Facebook. Okay. So Molly says, look up the meaning of Artemis, maybe pointing out the child trafficking and the abortion. Yeah, I think, Molly, speaking of that, I think it's a distraction. Look what was going on at the same time. Okay, the Strait of Hormuz was shut down. Okay, for fear of mines. And all those ships that are up north of the strait that were waiting to get out, how many of those ships do you think are being interdicted and boarded and being checked to see what they have for cargo? What about those ships that are waiting to come in? The cargo ships, with all the stuff that they have on them. How many of those ships do you think are being interdicted by the United States Navy to see what's on them? Okay, think back to Evergreen, sideways in the Suez Canal for months, and as they were going through, and there were leaks coming out that there were children and people that were being rescued out of those shipping containers. Yep, intercepted. Correct, Sassy. That's what I think is going on. I think they were trying to distract us, because that was the big thing. Think about it. There was more stuff going on about Iran and the Strait of Hormuz, and it overshadowed everything about Artemis. Okay? Excuse me. Artemis is the goddess of child protection, comms for getting public ready for what is coming. And I think a lot of that stuff was actually being grabbed up. The whole thing with child and human trafficking, organ harvesting, the adrenochrome harvesting, it's all real. And when people will probably chew me up one side and down the other, but I believe that was the real reason that Russia went into Ukraine. That whole area is where that stuff was rampant, in the whole Donbass region. And they were finding this stuff, and here Ukraine was saying that Russia kidnapped all these children. No, they didn't. They saved them. Anyway, I'm starting to get a sore throat. Talking too much. I'm probably going to end it. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. And again, please don't forget to give a thumbs up. Leave comments in the comments below. That does more for my algorithms than the chat. So please, even if it's like, yeah, what up? Or if you just want to make a quick little comment in there, it helps with the algorithms. And I appreciate it. All right, let me just peek back over. All right, so, all right, I think that's it. Trying to think if there was anything else. There's some other things that I want to talk about, but as it sits right now, I've got like 3 days off this coming week. I think I'm working Monday, maybe Tuesday, but I'm Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday I'm off work, so we'll be on, and I would really like to get a roundtable on, and let's talk about this stuff and revisit it in a roundtable. Well, we have about 5 or 6 of us on and talking. So anyway, that's all I got right now. I appreciate all of you being on and keeping me company, keeping the flow going. I have to get going here. I got a few things to do before I go to work today. But as I always say, everybody, keep your head on a swivel. We still got to clean up what's going on here in the United States. There's a reason that we had to get the other places first, because that way when we start doing it here, there is no reload, no refreshers coming in to make up for the ones that were taken out. Okay? All right. Be safe out there. If you're not packing, be with someone who is. And at the very least, put on that whole armor of God, okay? Be safe out there. God bless every single one of you out there on the other side of the screen. Love y'all. You take care. And we'll see you in a couple days.
They pass the page, their words a trap, a scripted stage. Each line they write with practiced art to tear your truth and world apart. From hidden rooms where plans are laid, they craft each storm and false parade. The poison seeps through even news, while puppet masters light the fuse. Stand up, fight back, reclaim your side. Don't let them dim your inner light. Break every chain they've wrapped around. Your spirit won't stay underground. This war of minds, this battle cry will shake Hollywood's tricks still rule the trade. Each fear and wish precisely made. They sell you pain in pretty shows while programming which way it flows. Your blood runs hot, your thoughts run cold. The stories break and ratings fold. They split the world in black and white while freedom fades into the night. Stand up, fight back, reclaim your sight. Don't let them dim your inner light. Break every chain they've wrapped around your spirit. Won't stay underground. This war of minds, this battle cry will shake their towers from the sky. Every screen and printed sheet, the same old lies they still repeat. Their mockingbirds sing false refrains while legions pull the mental chains. We dance their steps from sun to moon, or march into their twisted tune. But truth breaks through like morning rays when questions pierce their practiced haze. They track each step and thought you make, each choice you think you freely take. But power shifts when eyes grow clear and manufactured lies appear. So drop the script upon the ground, let freedom's voice ring true and sound. Your story's yours to write anew, with every word authentic, true.